welcome back to Waste Some Time with Jason Green. I am Jason Green, and it's Monday. We're not always here on Monday, but today we're doing a little something different. And I'm happy to have my co-host Matt Thorne here today. And one of the things I like about Matt so much is how humble he is. Matt has certainly lived an interesting life, and for those of you who subscribe to this channel, you can see my full interview with Matt where we talk about his career. But as much of his career that we spoke about, there was so much more that I learned about him. Now, Matt was probably best known for the band Rough Cutt. Before he was in Rough Cutt, he was in Ratt, 1981, and he co-wrote some of the more popular songs, including Back for More. That was 1981. Then Rough Cutt was next. Then he was in a band called Jailhouse. And he's been in Stephen Pearcy's solo band for a lot of years. He's also an accomplished producer, engineer. He owns his own studio, recorded a lot of songs that you've heard before in his studio. But those are just some of the things. And when I get to talking with him, he'll say to me something like, well, when I was living with Jake, and then I'll say, you mean Jakey Lee? Or, well, Warren, you mean Warren DeMartini? Matt lived with Jakey Lee and Warren DeMartini back in the day. He also just happened to live in Ronnie James Dio's house, and also appeared on The Hearing Aid. We're Stars. I once asked him, Matt, tell me about this. And he didn't really have much to say. As I said, he's pretty humble about things. We were sitting on an airplane from Burbank, going somewhere on the road. I don't remember where. And I think I was telling Matt about either how I wanted to film locations of certain movies in New York, or I was talking about how I did the Mark Weiss photo workshop that we're going to talk about on the show at some point, where I photographed Britt Lightning of Vixen. And as I was photographing her, I was giving her the instructions. Très jolie, Coco, très jolie, which if you listen to Howard Stern, you've heard sampled. Or if you saw the movie Fame from 1980, you know that Coco, played by Irene Cara, the late Irene Cara, goes to a screen test, but it's a little shady. And the photographer tries to convince her to take off her top. And he tells her that they're going to go to the south of France. And this is how it is, très jolie. So I don't know, I'm telling Matt the story for some reason. And he says, oh, yeah, well, it was something I was on Fame. And I said, well, what? I didn't hear him right. And I asked him again. And he said, oh, yeah, Rough Cutt was on the TV show Fame. And I was fascinated. I mean, what a strange thing. I feel like I've known Matt for a few years now. Michelle and I go out to dinner with his wife. We've become good friends, and yet he never told me he was on Fame. And this is to me more important than Dio. So maybe, just maybe, when Matt is here, we can watch a little bit of that episode of Fame and relive the magic. Some of you have no idea what I'm talking about, but anyway. Matt Thorne is here, and we'll talk to him right after this. Just wanna waste some time with you. Sometimes it seems too good to be true. Nobody I'd rather waste time with than you. All right, let's not waste any time and bring in Matt Thorne. All right, Matt.
Hey, Jason.
It's good to see you.
See you tomorrow. Or is it the day after?
The day after. It's funny that you're here, but we see each other at least every week, and sometimes 3 and 4 days of the week. People will see that we play, you guys play on the weekends, and they think, well, you're just there Friday and Saturday. Well, no, you got to leave on Thursday to get there on Friday, and then you got to play on Saturday and leave on Sunday. In this case, the shows are Thursday and Saturday, and they're in Michigan. And so we leave Wednesday to go to Chesterfield, Michigan. We have a day off where we're going to fly to Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan. And from there, we're going to fly home. Not easy to find flights out of Sault Ste. Marie. Although I say that, I've been looking at flights from Texarkana today. I mean, Texarkana sounds like something out of Smokey and the Bandit. Something moonshine is still there. But yes, we see each other quite a bit. This Michigan show, I was going to text Steven and say, hey, maybe we should announce that there's going to be a guest drummer. And I was going to ask permission to do that. But but I forgot. So I think we could say that this weekend is Blas Elias's wedding anniversary. When he joined, he told me I gotta already have flights booked for my wedding anniversary, his 20th anniversary. The world's most eligible bachelor. Has been married for 20 years. And what a shame, that he's still such a handsome guy, so fit, and yet he's married for 20 years. But happily married. So anyway, but he has to do that. And so we were looking for somebody to come in. We also knew that Blas is trans. I mean, plays with the trans Siberian orchestra. He's Siberian, not trans. And anyway, Jimmy D'Anda of the Bullet Boys and currently of Lynch Mob is going to come in for the weekend with us on short notice. Nice of him. And I think he's getting together with you or chatting. Have you guys chatted?
Yeah, I talked to him today. He's coming tomorrow at 11:30
Okay.
for about an hour.
Yeah,
So we're
perfect.
going to go over, like, it's usually 4 endings everybody has trouble with. So we're going to try to get him. I told him I'd look at him and give him some cues, but I said Blas had a hard time in the beginning because I didn't even know the cues, because we had changed everything at the same time we got Blas as far as guitar solos go. We extended endings, so I didn't even know where it was. So this time I do know where they are, so I can turn around and give him a cue.
Yeah, it'd be a lot easier. I thought that with Blas not being there, it would be cool to have somebody from the same era as Blas, in the Bullet Boys, probably a little before Slaughter, but around the same time. And also Bullet Boys were around. Mark Torian was in Ratt at one point. You never played a show with him though, did you?
No, I don't think so. I think I just met him for the first time at the George Lynch show we played in Michigan somewhere, another Michigan show.
Mm-hmm. That was you're talking about Jimmy D'Anda,
yeah. The Noah's Ark show where all the rain went horizontal and flooded our pedal boards. That show, I met him. That was the first time I met him.
Yeah, I remember well. Right before that show, Blas fell down and injured his lungs. He had a collapsed lung, and I asked Jimmy if we needed you to play a set of Ratt songs on one day's notice, could you do it? And he said, I think I could. And and here we are. Anyway, we're going to have a nice time in Michigan. I should look at some of these comments before they get too crazy because there's a lot. But we should also mention, Matt, that you have some new merchandise. I was giving you the best introduction I could, but I did forget that you are the biggest selling instrumental bass funk artist in the history of Burbank, California. Your record, it's called Back the Funk Up, is still right now the best selling album on the charts in Burbank.
Hey, I sold out of those. I didn't quite sell. I got like 4 or 5 left. Those CDs. Those are retired. No more CDs.
So you're saying this is when those 4 or 5 are gone, it's out of print, it's over.
Then you got to go with these. You got to go with the new technology. And sorry, I know nobody knows what these are, and everybody's scared to death of them, but that's what you're gonna have to deal with.
This is an NFC, and on his website right now, you can not only get the greatest selling bass funk instrumental album of all time, but you can also get the Rough Cut records on NFC.
That's right.
And it's an easy thing, Matt. I mean, you've explained it before, but you just hold the device up to yourself.
Yeah, it's pretty easy. I don't understand why it's so complicated, but people are amazed when they see it. It's just one of those things that they're shocked that that this works. It's not working right now, but usually it does.
No, and it opens up really easy. You just
there it is. So I just did this. I just did that, and then there's the portal. You click on the portal, and there you go. That's the album. So it's really cool. I got it in the packaging right now. It even goes through that. So I sign these. That's with the little clamshell, and I just wave it up there, and see, there it goes. There it is.
Now, what I like, I told you, I go, Matt, I don't think you should shy away from your past. A lot of fans come to the shows and they ask you to autograph memorabilia from other bands you were in, including Rough Cut. And I thought that if you're going to sell picks, you need to have people would like to have collectibles. If you try to buy an original Matt Thorne Rough Cut pick, you would have to put a mortgage out. It's not cheap. and the Ratt picks and have never been available. So these are I got it right here, the new picks. I'll show the set in just a minute. But there is a Ratt 1981 commemorative pick. It's signed on the back with Matt Thorne's name and his signature, which is very readable. And then rough cut right there for the first time, a 1985 rough cut pick, legible signature. This one says Matt Thor on the back because we know that Wendy Dio instructed you to be
I was never a fan. Never a fan.
And Jailhouse. So I think that there's a lot of collectors out there who would like to have different memorabilia. And so you can come to one of the Stephen Piercy shows and you can get the Matt Thorne 80s collection of picks right there. And it's in a nice clamshell packaging. And you can order online. And what I've just learned is that today there is a special for Waste Some Time with Jason Green viewers. And so let's say you can just get this if you like, or you could just get the CD. You can also get a pick, or you can get that. But wait, there's more. If you go right now to the link in the description, which is mattthorne.myshopify.com, the link's in the description, you're going to be able to get all of this for a amazing price, a one-time only incredible price. I'm going to show you what you get because I know it sounds too good to be true. Right here, if you order today and you type in the discount WST, that stands for Waste Some Time, you're going to get everything, the pick pack, the NFC mini CD combo right now. There it is right there. You're going to get the NFC and the picks. Normally, these things would cost you $40. What kind of discount do we get today?
This is a 25% discount, so it's 30.
But if you want to get both right now, $30. If you buy it right now as we speak, you'll hear the cash register in Matt's studio go off. But anyway, all kinds of stuff that you could need is here. Anything you want to buy, go to Matt's website, including the Casio Christmas, which is very, very, very rare. So anyway, you want to check this out. I wanted to get that plug out of the way before we talk about other things. There's a lot to talk about. Let's look at some of these comments, Matt. Some of these things may have nothing to do with you or nothing to do with me. Jet was the first one here. Jet got here at 4:45. Thank you so much, Jason, for having. Say it again.
I'm looking for him. Oh, I see it.
Oh, yeah. Thank you so much for having the show today. Made my day. I'm sure it's going to be a great show. David just says, what's up? And the real question is, would Matt tour with Perry Farrell? I can't wait to watch. I love Matt's laid-back approach as much as I like Johnny's neurotic one. Would you play with Perry Farrell?
I probably would if I did a little stretching and maybe did a couple of martial arts courses. Maybe I could brush up on my Kenpo and that way I'd be not in fear of my life. And I might need the bass player from the band Jane's Addiction to help me out a little bit, but other than that, I think it'd be okay. Yeah, you know what? It depends on how much they pay.
Right. What are the hours?
Yeah. The hours are important. How far I have to go to travel. Yeah, these kind of things. Yeah.
Guitar Dude says
for the right price.
Guitar Dude says Matt should run for Senate because you have that senator vibe. You would be a good politician, I think.
I am wearing a golf hat. Now, we got this at the golf store. This was a very expensive hat. Mm-hmm. It was $75.
Did your wife pick that hat out?
Yes, she did. I picked a couple options, and she said, I like that one. So I went with what she likes. She's better at judging me than myself. Than I am.
She is it's no secret, Matt's wife is the costume designer for the TV show Grey's Anatomy. So she has dressed McDreamy and she has dressed Matt.
She's not real brushed up on music though, because when I showed her my pick pack, she saw this little insignia here. Mm-hmm. She goes, "Why do you have that?" And I told her that's the bass clef insignia. And then she goes, "Oh, okay." So she let it go.
Yeah, she let it slide. Yeah. It is pretty unique, and to be honest with you, I didn't notice it until you
Well,
into the
she thought it was clutter,
Mhm.
but when I told her what it meant, it was fine.
Johnny Gehring is watching right now. He's asking, "How
Uh-huh.
are we, Rat Bastards?" Johnny Gehring was the first roadie for Rat ever, and he is the one who found the boots that Steven wears in all the old pictures and videos. Those big white boots. They were actually from a Civil War movie. Johnny was a PA on the movie. He fished them out of the garbage. They were worn by Barry Bostwick.
Huh.
But he was around when Matt was around. I mean, this is going back to.
Do
Uh,
I know him? I can't
yes,
remember.
you meet him at all the shows.
Oh, that's right. Yes, you're right. That's right. Well, there's all these nicknames for people that Steven has, and I get their nicknames mixed up with the other real name and the who's other showing up at his shows. You never know. He's always got these people coming in.
Well, Johnny is going to come on soon and talk a little bit about. Maybe he likes to be called John. He's going to come on and talk about the era of Rat that most people, aside from you, don't remember. Okay, so a lot of people are coming in and saying hello. It's good to see everyone. And 200 people tuning in right now. Jimmy D's Rock Talk is tuning in from Winnipeg, Canada. And lots of people excited. Just going through. This is a good comment here. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. I'm almost at 20,000 subscribers.
That guy bought a pick the other day.
Who did? Jason?
That Jason Holstein. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a nice guy.
Hey, thanks, Jason. Thank you. I
Jason
sent him out a package the other day.
He's a channel member. He was at the Rocktember gig there. That's last time we saw him. Okay. Jason also is aware that it is the best-selling bass funk instrumental album in Burbank history. Yes.
That's right.
Jet just watched the Florida tour diary. Very cool in case you haven't seen it. Have you seen that episode?
Which one was this? Was this the
brand new?
Oh, I haven't seen it. No.
These things come out on Friday. We're on the road when they come out, so it's hard to watch. But the end of the episode, you and I are in Comfort Plus, the first row, but the row in front of us is first class, and they have a drape, but the drape wasn't fastening, and they deputized you to be the marshal.
That's right.
And hold it. And then they told us that we were so special needs, I think, that they gave us a thing of snacks, and they wrote us a personal letter. I didn't remember any of this happening until I looked at the video.
Now, I think we figured out why it wasn't. There was a button, wasn't there? There was a snap button at the
on
top
the other side
that was kind of bent back, and it wasn't attaching. So we did figure out how to the mechanical dysfunction there, but I think it was too late. By the time we figured it out, the flight was over, and the curtain really wasn't doing its job, except for you and I holding it in place.
Yes, they did make the announcement that obey the curtain, and we did our best. But people who would like to can go watch that episode. It's brand new and it's out there, and it's a lot of fun. Lorraine is here. Lorraine has been to 706 Stephen Pearcy or Ratt performances. Yeah.
That's right. I see her at most every show, especially the ones where she always attends the ones in. Where are the ones she attends? I feel like
East Coast.
East Coast, yeah, that's right.
Mm-hmm. Mostly East Coast. John Gehring says Fame. They were on Fame. I was there. Wendy Dio was in the limo. Wendy Dio was in the limo with them on stage 28.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Wendy had her own limos. I think they were called Niji 1 and Niji 2. I can't remember, but Niji means rainbow in Japanese. So they named all their limos Niji something or other. And she had two white limos that she would take us places. And I think we got a ride to this Fame set in her Niji limo.
It sounds a little ridiculous, as most things.
Now, we had a limo this last show we played. It was a Hummer limo, right?
We
were traveling around in a limo.
A white Hummer limousine that could have probably fit 30 people.
That's right.
You and I and Michelle rode with Slaughter to the gig. We got there a little bit early, but you could have fit 90 more people in there. It was nice though. I felt like we had a good time. Where were where were we again? Texas.
Texas, yes, Texas,
Yeah.
Amarillo, Texas,
Yeah.
which I didn't know existed until we went to it, and it's pretty
Uh-huh.
open place. It looks like when you're looking out, when you're driving in Amarillo, Texas, that it's almost like the ocean. You can't see the end of the horizon. I mean, it's just, it goes on forever because there's nothing there.
I think the kids call it Amarillo.
Amarillo. Okay.
Yeah. You use the authentic Latino.
Yeah, that's right. Amarillo.
Your housekeeper probably in Burbank probably said it differently, and you didn't get it right. But Amarillo, Texas, is where we flew in. The show was in Canyon, Texas. It was a who's who of bands. Steven Adler of Guns N' Roses, Slaughter, without original drummer Blas Elias, because original drummer Blas Elias is in the Stephen Pearcy band, and Queensryche was there. I say a lot of things about Queensryche on the show that may be construed as negative. I'm hard on bands that don't have the original members, especially when the original members are alive. And I kind of thought that maybe the guys in Queensryche were a little bit of jerks, but I was wrong. They're actually just quiet. Michael Wilton and Eddie Jackson, the original members, were both very friendly, and they sounded good on stage. And Todd LaTorre, the singer, was very nice. He sat behind the drums watching the whole show, and he's really a fan of Ratt and the music. And so I've got to maybe offer a slight apology to those guys. I still don't think that Queensryche fits on those kind of bills. I think they're better with Dream Theater or something a little bit more prog, a little more progressive. It's not to have fun, feel good bands. I think they would agree to that. But anyway,
we usually don't share dressing rooms with bands either. So this was the first time where all bands were in this large dressing room, and there was really nowhere to go. So you were kind of forced to talk to each other. So we had to get to know Queensryche, and some of the people we already knew there. But I met some people I didn't know. I don't think I ever met the bass player from Adler's band.
I don't think I didn't met him either. Yeah.
He was really nice. He had an accent. I think he's from Italy, if I remember right. And then it was kind of a nice little get together backstage since we had nothing else to do and there's nothing else to do in our town. I actually went to this show early. I usually never go early, but I was so bored watching crime TV in my hotel room that I begged to go early, and I was hungry too. And they had like some good food. They had chicken fried steak and chicken and a nice steak there and some other things. So I went early for the first time. I was there 2 hours early.
Yeah, it was interesting, but it was a good hang. I mean, it looked like a hangar. It looked like a big garage, and but everyone was in a good mood. I sometimes say every time I see Steven Adler sold more records than every band put together, maybe 5 times over. I mean, this guy is a real legend, and his drum parts on Appetite for Destruction are so memorable. You can sing along to his drum parts. The breakdown in Sweet Child of Mine, the beginning of Welcome to the Jungle, the breakdown in Rocket Queen. He really was part of one of the biggest albums of all time. And his set list there's no going wrong. There's nothing you could play that isn't a massive a hit. And he's very pleasant. We got to spend some time with him because we all took a party bus to the airport, but we all had 4:30 p.m. flights, and we had to check out at noon. So it was us, the bass player for Adler, whose name escapes me, but Ari Kamen, who's their singer. I believe he's from Argentina. Steve Sprite.
Hold on.
Steve Sprite, who is Steven Adler's tour manager.
Kristen Sturba is the bass player.
That's the bass player, Starboy. That's right. Okay. Yeah. And then all of the Pearcy band. We went to a fantastic barbecue place, and I don't remember the name. Rudy's? I think it was Rudy's.
Rudy's.
Rudy's off the interstate. Johnny didn't want to ride in the party bus, so he rode with the gear. And we forgot to tell the gear that we were going to Rudy's. So, but luckily we were able to get a hold of him, and we all went, and boy, did we pig out on some good old Texas
But now,
barbecue.
now Steven Adler decided he got tired. So he
He-
slept on the bus while we were in there. And then when we got to the airport, he ordered a burger about this big and ate it. And I was thinking, you could have had a great barbecue, but he slept through it.
he slept through it, but he decided to dine in the airport. But he's very nice. Everyone was very nice. Actually, out of all these bands, usually I always think somebody's a jerk. I really couldn't think of anybody. Everybody was really pleasant and easy to get along with, and there was definitely a good bond. Slaughter we see quite often, and it was nice. And you know, a lot of hit songs, a lot of fun, and literally we get home and then it's off to go again. John Gehring points out that he worked on the last 4 seasons of Fame. How
How many
bizarre!
seasons were there?
I think there's 5 or 6 seasons of Fame. He'd probably be the
Which
expert.
one was I on?
Say it again.
Do you know which one I was on?
Well, you were in 1984, I was told. He'll probably remember the season. You know, for those who are watching who are maybe younger, 250 people watching right now, Fame was a movie that came out in 1980 about a school in New York, an actual school called the School for Performing Arts. I grew up in New York and knew people who went to the school. When they saw the script, they wouldn't allow them to film it in the school because the script is a little racy. And the School for Performing Arts has a history of people having drug dependencies, and there's a lot of pressure in that school, and a lot of people were getting into crazy situations. But some of the best musicians have come out of that school. The only person I can remember from when I was around was Samantha Maloney, who was the drummer for the band Hole. She was also a member of Motley Crue, but she banged Nikki Sixx, and it didn't work out. But anyway, a lot of talented people went there. They filmed the movie in New York City. The actual school, the exterior was a church. But then the TV show came out in 1982. I think it ran 6 seasons, and we'll see if John probably knows more than me since he was working there. What a strange thing.
Blindside knows the name of the song. I remember this song now. I want to live forever. I want to learn how to fly. That's right.
Right. Well, that was an Irene Cara song, which is crazy because my friend Joe Esposito, who's been on the show many times, sang "You're the Best Around." He sang a song on the Flashdance soundtrack. The Flashdance soundtrack was from Giorgio Moroder, who pretty much invented disco. And Joe used to work with him, and Giorgio was having some trouble with Irene Cara. She was known to be difficult, and he told Joe, if Irene doesn't make this deal in the next 10 minutes, you're going to sing the song from Flashdance, What a Feeling. And the producers were saying, well, it's a movie about kind of women empowerment, and it would be strange having a man sing the song. The last second they made the deal with Irene Cara. Well, she was nominated for an Oscar for singing Fame, the theme. And then she was nominated for that Flashdance as well. She won for Flashdance. The song Fame is a great song. If you listen to it again, the arrangement is crazy. It has reprises. And it's some of the best session players ever. The bass, the guitar, the drums. It's some of the top of the line people you would ever seen, and it is catchy. It's hard not to keep that song in your head. So John thinks the show ran for 3 or 4. I believe the answer was 4. Danny says the TV show was better. A lot of people, I think, felt that way. Now he says 6. But I was young when Fame came out on TV, and I didn't get it. It was a little too serious for me. I mean, I liked the theme song, but then I see these kids having serious life issues, and I didn't want to have serious life issues. But what I would like to do, if you'd indulge us, is I'd like to watch a little bit of Fame right now, Matt, because I think that
this one we're dressed goofy and with the two guys? Are you going to play the actual part of that episode?
Yeah, I'm just going to play your part. Um, and as I said you and I were on an airplane, and all of a sudden you revealed to me that you were on an episode of Fame, which just imagine how ridiculous that sounds.
And the funny thing is, you were like, "Is it on Google? Is it on YouTube?" I go, "I think so." And you did it right there. You Googled it.
Well, we watched it on the plane. So the show began in 1982. This was 1984. At this point, the show was probably in its peak. Now, set this up. First of all, how do you get on a TV show like Fame?
I don't know. I just remember after the show, I was scrambling to find my royalties. Like, I want my money. That's what I was doing. So I think I had to get money to be on the show, you had to be in the musicians union. So I raced down before the show and joined the musicians union. Now, back in this time, you had to actually audition for the musicians union. You had to go there and play. Like, they had to make sure that you were an actual musician. So I went down there and played like probably the immigrant song or something. And then they said, "Okay, you're a musician enough." And
That's how you do it, huh?
That's how you do it. So then all of a sudden, then you get a little while after, you have money at the musicians union. So you have to claim it. You have to go down there. I don't remember who I had to pick up a check or what I had to do. But Paul, since he was a singer, he got SAG. And he had already been on Duke Fame, or he had been Duke Fame on Spinal Tap. So he was already a member of SAG.
A lot of fame in his career, yeah.
So SAG, typically you get one free, so that you don't have to be a member of SAG to get paid the first time. But the second time, you have to be a member. So he was a member of SAG because of Spinal Tap, and he got paid more because singing is a speaking part. I don't know if people are aware of that, but that's a little music business.
Well, to get in the Screen Actors Guild, you have to say at least 5 words on television. If you're singing, it counts.
That's right. So he got paid more than I did. I think I got paid. It wasn't bad. I kind of remember it being $900. If I could be wrong, but it was a lot because we spent a whole day there. So yeah, and I think he got paid twice as much, if I remember right.
I'm gonna guess that when the Dio made the deal.
I'm pretty sure because we were on Warner Brothers at the time. We had just got signed, so we had that deal. But the song that same song ended up on album 2, "Wants You," but it changed the lyric a little bit. And I think the one on Fame was called "I Want to Be a Star," and then the one on our album was called "You Want to Be a Star."
And then on Hearing Aid, it was "We're Stars."
That's right.
You guys were seeing stars.
We were really striving to be a star.
Matt, Dr. Paul Shortino is joining us right now.
Is he there?
As you watch the show, you know Dr. Paul Shortino.
He knows a lot of inside information.
He knows a lot. We don't believe that he is the Paul Shortino. He's a Paul Shortino. He's a Dr. Paul Shortino. But we do believe he knows you guys from the Rough Cut days. You and Amir have both speculated who Dr. Paul is, but he says Spinal Tap, that was nothing compared to the Stewardesses.
What's the Stewardesses? Do you know what
Stewardesses was, and only a real expert would know this, that was Paul Shortino's first movie. It was an adult film.
No. Was he, did he, or is it just, he just appeared as a dressed human male?
He wasn't even over 18. He was a teenager, but he plays music in a band in a club. And a club scene in this adult movie. He went to the premiere. I think his parents took him to the premiere, he said.
How do you know this?
How does Dr. Paul? I know because I interviewed him. But
okay, so he volunteered this information. I would.
Oh yeah. No, Paul told me he was proud. Yeah.
I wouldn't have said that. I would have just kept that a secret.
Well, but yes. So before he was Duke Fame and Spinal Tap, and he was waiting for the limo to go to the Enormo Dome. They had this.
Am I getting a lot of feedback? My wife says I'm getting a lot of feedback. Why is that?
It's possible. I'm not hearing it on my end, but
I don't know what's wrong. You never know what these maids do.
your wife also said you need a $75 hat. So I mean,
Yeah, that's true.
but no, you might have some feedback. I'm turning my volume down. I
Me
should
too.
be wearing
I'm
my
turning my
earplugs.
volume down too.
Dr. Paul says.
Backwards.
Dr. Paul says he didn't do the kind of adult stuff that Chris Hager did, though.
He didn't do that. Dr. Paul Shortino didn't.
Mm-hmm. That's an inside thing that we'll leave for the inside. Anyway, Lisa mentioned that she liked Fame in the years when Nia Peebles was on the show. She was very hot, and I think she might have been on at this time. But now, so set this up. You're going to be on Fame. You go to the TV studio. Where was the studio at?
Jeez, I don't remember.
John Gehring, tell us where Matt went that day. But you went to the studio. You arrived in limousines.
That's right.
Did you go to hair and makeup, or did you do that to yourself?
No. We went to hair and makeup. It was we got there like 5 a.m. It was an all day thing. We had to get hair and makeup. And then, typically when you do these things, you sit around most of the time. So you get the hair and makeup. And by the time you actually have to do anything, it's kind of you sweat. And there's, they have to kind of buff you out a little bit. They get that little brush and puffer thing, and they kind of pat you down. So that was
It was MGM is where.
Okay.
In Culver City. You went to Culver City that day.
How do these people know this stuff?
This is John. He was there.
Oh, okay.
He worked on Fame. He was a production assistant.
He says Cuckler City.
Well, he's got an accent. But anyway, and that's a legendary studio. They filmed so many things back there. I don't think it's even there anymore. But okay, so you're going to be on TV. At that time, did you watch Fame?
No, I don't think I ever watched it. But I must have passed through the channel because I did know the song. So it's possible that passing channels, I watched a couple of minutes of it and then switched. I don't think it was my thing. It's kind of like you. It wasn't really my thing. I wasn't really interested in the show.
Well, you were mostly busy.
Yeah, and I think what kind of TV was I watching back then? I might not have had a TV. That could have been a possibility. We might have had a group TV. Like we had band houses, so everybody would share. So I might have been stuck with whatever anybody else wanted to watch.
Well, I think we should watch it together right now.
Okay. Yeah,
and I think that now YouTube could try to demonetize us for this. So make sure everybody super chats because we're going to need it to pay the bail. I don't think that anyone's going to claim to own this version of the song, and I don't think Fame is going to care. And I do have legal counsel in the house right now, just in case. This is a reaction video. We are going to react to a video that features Matt in it. So YouTube, don't get your panties, as they say, in a bunch. Okay, let's due to the magic of television, we're going to add this video. Here we go. We're going to go live via satellite to YouTube, and here it is. Let's see if we can get rid of it. Okay, now those are the two. Those are the 2 stars.
Yes.
Right there. Let's see if we can't make this full screen, maybe. Okay, that looks good, right? Let me check my monitor, and you're going to walk us through it. Okay, there we go. Now I see it. I'm a few seconds back. So you walk us through it, Matt. I'm going to start it right now.
Okay.
Well, Matt, tell me right from the beginning, what are these 2 guys doing right now?
They're dreaming that they're going to be stars. So they're going to look up at the marquee and see that they have their name in lights. And it's like a dream sequence. They're dreaming that this is going to happen, but it doesn't actually happen.
Well, right. But the spoiler alert, in case any of you haven't seen it. All right, here we go. Let's turn on the volume. We'll put it right to about here so we can talk. And let's watch it.
And we're going to be the biggest things in show business. I can see it now. It's his palace. Donlin and Amatulo. Amatulo and Donlin.
All right, there's Rocking Days. There's you.
Oh, there, and then my app, my.
There you are.
Yeah.
When you feel the thunder and you feel the roar. Yeah, the crowd is screaming, they're screaming for more.
Is this bringing you back, Matt?
Yeah, they're coming to the stage.
You guys all look like Kane Roberts and a bunch of muscle guys. You look a little bit like the Trans-Siberian.
Yeah, you know, this is when this was very trendy back then. This ripped up T-shirt thing.
Mm-hmm. You know, those extras were getting paid too, probably.
That's right. Yeah, this was a big production. Mm-hmm. That car, the Batman car that pulled up. I don't remember that car.
It was a cutaway. This song's not so bad.
No, it's not too bad. Now, this song was a Sarge song.
It was a what?
It was a band that Chris and I was in called Sarge. There's a band, okay. we kind of dressed in military getup. And this song was called Take You Down. And this was the song, and it's been changed to I Want to Be a Star in this.
Were you in Sarge also?
Yes.
Right. I thought. Didn't you play with Metallica?
Yes. We headlined, which is crazy.
There you are. Look at you, Matt, rocking out.
Yeah, I know. I don't do this anymore. Like
well, now you wear a $75 hat.
Yeah, that's right.
Look at this. Well,
those
never
wigs
did I think.
Sexy, huh? Those guys have those sexy wigs.
Mm-hmm.
Paul sounds good on this.
Yeah.
I think this version of the song's better on Fame than it is on our record.
Where did they get this? Did you record this just for Fame?
Yes.
Chulo and Donlin.
So you had to go into a studio to do this?
Yes. We had to go into a studio to do this, and did Chris lend them those wigs? Pretty funny. Yeah, we had to go in a studio to do this, and I think we did it pretty quickly. I mean, it was like a 2-day thing, if I remember. Quick. But yeah, we already had the song, so it was pretty easy. And it was the same melody. The chorus is the same melody as Take You Down. The other one was I Want to Take You, I Want to Take You Down. So this is pretty much the same kind of thing. And we just replaced that I want to be a star. So that's the story behind that song.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of people enjoying it, and definitely something fun, yes. Something different.
Sarge was Stephen St. James. And in fact, Stephen St. James wrote the melody. I would say I hope he got credit. Maybe he didn't. But I would say Stephen St. James wrote that melody. Different lyrics, obviously, but that was his melody.
Yeah, it's how funny. But as I was saying, I know people could hear some of the music, but Sarge played with Metallica. I mean, a long time ago, obviously. Okay, so anyway, we got to watch a little bit of fame, and it was fascinating. I love these kind of stories. Um, Everyone that we work with has done. Anyone in this industry has done all kinds of other gigs, and things happen. And you're in Hollywood at that time, and sometimes the record label is also involved with the television studio. Most of the time, when I have a band on the show that have their song in a movie, it was because the label was owned by the same studio, and that's how they would get them in. Can you still get royalties for that?
I do. I get ASCAP royalties for this. The ASCAP the royalties for ASCAP never go away because, especially now, because there's so many markets, right? You got all these streaming markets, so people stream this stuff, and I mean, it's not a lot of money. ASCAP usually is an accumulation of songs, not just one song like "I Want to Be a Star." It's an accumulation of all your catalog, so that's how you get the money because these songs don't pay that much. I mean, you're going to get maybe 3 cents for one play. So you have to have a lot of songs to make anything significant.
Well, I got to tell you, Matt, maybe you cranked out the 80s pick collection too soon. Because right now you have the 1981 Ratt pick, the 1985 Rough Cut pick, and the 1988 Jailhouse pick. You're missing the 1984 Fame pick.
Well, they only make a 3 and a 6-pack, these
Well,
things. So
maybe a Sarge pick.
And here's the thing: is that like I don't want to take up any more room in my suitcase. So this looked like a nice little size compact thing. So that's why I've retired the CDs. The CDs are too big, and I don't know who has CD players. I mean, it's just I don't get the CD thing. I can't believe people still buy those things, but they do. I guess it's a novelty or souvenir.
Well, listen, I don't know this a fact as if I mean I do know that your record is the greatest selling record in the history of instrumental bass albums in Burbank for funk. But I'm willing to go on the line here and say that the NFC is the greatest selling instrumental bass NFC of all time.
Now, I'm trying to get the reason I'm selling these NFCs. I want bands to get out of the Spotify thing, especially new bands, because they don't make any money, right? So I'm trying to get bands that come into my studio and whatever to do this kind of NFC thing because I think it's really cool, especially if you're doing giveaways and you want somebody to hear your music. It's so easy to just swipe it over the top of your phone, and I think the curious are going to listen to your music before they would go to a Spotify URL or whatever you're going to give them, your Spotify address. I don't think they're going to remember it. I don't think they're going there. I think there's too much competition. There might be even the same name of your band on Spotify. So I'm really kind of recommending this to a lot of people that come in my studio, and I've gotten a lot of people to try these out. They're a hard thing to sell because you actually have to show people what they do. They don't get it, right? But if you're giving away, it's really easy just to go check this out. In fact, I mean, I think you and I had that great thing that happened at a hotel, which we got a room because we had.
This was a very important thing. So we were on the road, and we were in we were in Ohio. I went to the Toledo Mud Hens game, so we were in Toledo, and the cloud strike happened. The world was shut down due to the cloud strike. Why the cloud was on strike, I don't know, but nothing was working in certain places. The Hilton Hotel, no room keys worked. No one could check in and out of their room. But they did have certain rooms that they could let you in, but the door wouldn't lock and you could all hang out. Matt, we decided who could talk to her the sweetest. She was a lovely African-American woman, and we said, do you like funk music, especially instrumental bass funk music from Burbank? And she said, well, yes, I do. And that's the big West, the Great West to her. So Matt demonstrated the NFC for her. It worked. And I thought, what a ridiculous concept. But she did take us to a room. And then an hour later, I said, we got to get our own room because you guys were all sharing beds. Johnny was laying in the bed next to you, but the seat of his pants had worn out. It didn't look good. So I went down.
Plus, I had to share the bed with him. I wanted out.
Yes. So I went down to check in if there had been any progress, and lo and behold, she was listening to your music on the NFC, and she was kind of doing a little something. A little shimmy, a little shimmy. The music moved her. She was overcome by the music. And anyway, so that was the NFC. You can buy it right now. It's easy. Matt, have we sold like 10 of these so far?
Oh yeah. They're being. I just have my phone off, but yeah, we're doing it.
Okay, Matt
Anytime
Thorne.
I come on here, I do this. It's great. That's the
Yeah,
only
well,
reason I come
Matt,
on your show is to make money.
yes. Well, but Matt, you are one of the favorite guests of people. And like I said, I think it's because you're humble and people like to hear these stories. I mean, it's not everyone has been on fame. Uh,
Somebody asked if you could download these things to your
right. I
phone.
wanted to get to that.
The answer is no. It's really anti-piracy too. So you don't want people sharing your music. So you want them to have this. It's like a key fob to your car. You would just hold this over your phone. The next time you want to go to that phone, the next time you want to listen to this, you got to use your key fob again. So it's basically that. It stops people from passing around your music and it being for free. It's for free for that one person you gave it to, but not for the world.
And you can add a lot of bonus content to this thing.
Later too. So if you had a 10-song record and you decided, I wish this was a 12-song record, the person who you gave this to or sold this to, they would be able to, you would add on to this and it would update on their NFC.
Wow. Well, listen, now I'm sold. I thought this was garbage before, but now I'm in.
No.
If you got one, Matt could give you an unreleased track or some new pictures, information. That's pretty cool. And listen,
now I had my fireplace recently updated. Ramel and I, we decided we wanted to update our fireplace. We wanted it to go from a log burning fireplace to a ceramic ceramic burning.
White people problems. Yeah, I get you.
And because our house was smoking out and we were dying of smoke inhalation. So basically, the guy came over, and he, at the end of the day, when he wanted me to give him points on how good he was as a fireplace guy, he goes, "Can you put down that you liked me a lot, right?" So he had an NFC business card, and he scanned it on my phone, and his whole thing came up, and I said, "Oh yeah, you were very good, 10 stars, right?" And so I said, "Hey, Mr. Fireplace guy, maybe you'd be interested in an NFC CD." So I gave him an NFC CD. So I give the people you wouldn't really think would like these NFCs. I'm giving these away to. And he drove down the street, listened to my NFC, and he goes, "I love your funk record." And he thought it sounded like Daft Punk. I don't know if I agree, but that's what it reminded him of. Anyway, so I'm giving these NFCs to people at hotels, people who fix fireplaces, whatever.
But if you want one right now, if you use the code, what you're going to do is you're going to go to here. I'll show everyone how to do it because this is state of the art technology. You go to Matt's website. There it is now, up there on the screen. You go to products. But if you want to act now and you want to get the exclusive Waste Some Time with Jason Green deal, you're going to get 25% off. Only if you act now, you're going to get Matt Thorne's 1980s 3-pick pack collection featuring Ratt 1981, Rough Cut 1985, and Jailhouse 1988. But you're also going to get the, what is it called? Back the Funk Up NFC, which is a near field communication mini CD. Just hover it over your phone, iPhone, Android, whatever it is. You got music, you got pictures, you got more. Put in WST right now, and you're going to get a discount. And listen, I think that this is a great deal. We're passing the savings on to you. Matt really is. I have nothing to do with it. But
I mean, like I said, the NFCs are more, I just want to get the word out there on these things because I really think it's a cool way of passing around your music. And I know artists who come in here and record, they don't know what to do with their music. They just end up putting it on Spotify and putting their whole album out there, and then nobody can find them, nobody cares, and it's so I thought, the Grass pick, yeah.
What is that?
That Grass was a band I was in when we ended Jailhouse, and Amir went to Grass. It was a band, kind of I would say a grungy type band. One of my favorite bands I was in. I really liked that band. Unfortunately, we had some mishaps with the dealings with some of the people in the band, so it didn't really pay off. But I really liked the music we came out with, and we were there was somebody in the band was kind of self-sabotaging it, so it just didn't work out. But anyway, kind of like
Interesting.
Perry Farrell.
Yeah, you were ahead of your
kind of same thing.
time.
Yeah.
Now, somebody said that they were going to come see us. Where the hell did that go? Oh, here it is. This is LB 2004. I'm going to get tickets to see Steven at the Diesel. Can't wait for this Thursday. It's the Diesel Concert Lounge, I believe, in Chesterfield. And yeah, we'll get your tickets. It's going to sell out, and a great night. The Stephen Piercy Band featuring Matt Thorne and Blas Elias of Slaughter. Johnny
No, Blas
Monaco.
ain't gonna be there. Blas isn't gonna
sorry.
be.
Yeah, Jimmy DeAnda, formerly of the Bullet Boys, and Lynch Mob. He's in Lynch Mob. And Johnny Monaco, formerly of Enough's Enough, and other things he's done. And Eric Ferentinos, who's been in the Stephen Piercy solo band for 64 years. And so you're going to catch everybody there, and you don't want to miss it. And then from there, we're going to head to St. Sault Marie, which is so far north. I think it's in Canada. Jason Holstein would like to see who is Dr. Paul's series. Well, we've thought about having Amir and Matt guess at who he is. Dr. Paul says, I remember the Hey Man song from Grass.
Yeah.
Could have used a better singer in his opinion.
Really? He didn't like the singer. That's interesting. I like the singer. But our drummer didn't like like him that much either, which is interesting. But I loved him. He was in Black Bambi, who Bo Hill produced. Their record got shelved, but he was in a band called Black Bambi on Atlantic Records, and that was probably one of the last '80s kind of bands that Bo Hill produced.
I think we just sold a few of those.
Yeah. I turned on the ringer. Yep, there we go.
Yeah, there we go.
I'll turn it off.
Sounds like every time a bell rings, Angel gets their wings, apparently. There was only one singer worthy of being recorded. I think he's referring to himself. But a lot of people are going to be there. Heavy Metal Beer Club says Amir's band, Julian K, is pretty awesome, too. And I think there wasn't Chester Bennington in the band with Amir for a minute?
Oh, that was Dead by Sunrise.
Okay.
And they did, I think, a record. Yeah, Amir's done pretty successful stuff. I mean, it's amazing that he did a record with Chester Bennington, but I don't know the record that well. Like, I don't know if I listened to it ever, but I remember seeing him on the Dave Letterman show, which is like, wow, Amir's on the Dave Letterman show. That's pretty crazy.
Big deal. Traveler of Thailand he said he's been convinced. He said Matt sold me on an NFT,
Yeah.
and I'm happy to be supporting cutting edge of technology. Well, that is great.
You know, I'm going to do this. I'm going to send you a link to that site in case anybody's in a band here. I don't know if does anybody in your show, are they in bands ever or not?
I bet you there's some people in bands. Put it in the chat though. Don't send it to me.
Okay, I'll put it in the chat.
I could write it. Yeah. And then if you guys want to get in on this technology, if you have a band, you can use Matt's link.
Take me a second. Hold on.
Yeah.
I have it in my yeah, here we go.
You know, Matt, sometimes Wednesday 13, co-hosts with me, and I say his audience is very young, therefore they don't have money to super chat. There has not been a single super chat all night. I think they put
my audience is cheap. Is that what you're trying to say?
Maybe. I think they put all the money into technology, which is okay.
Am I taking all their extra money?
That's all right.
Okay, so I'm going to copy
Dr.
this.
Paul is very, he's very politically correct. He never likes to rock the boat. He said a few of the broads on here have had bands in them. He's a doctor.
Huh? Do you think he's really a doctor, or is this just facade?
He used to offer medical remedies. A lot of them involved animal products and things like that. Um, I can't even say the things that he recommended. Kimberly's going to be there as well on uh, Thursday in Chester Bennington Field, Michigan. There's a museum. So it's the Ford Car Museum in Michigan. One time we played like 2 blocks from it, and I said I don't want to see cars. I don't like cars. I think they're stupid. That's why I don't drive one. But it turns out they have the car that Kennedy was assassinated in. They have the bus that Rosa Parks was told to sit in the back of. And they have, I know this sounds crazy, but they have somebody famous's last breath. Maybe Nikola Tesla. They had, before someone died, they had them breathe into a little cup and they closed it up. It sounds like I'm making that up. If someone in the audience knows that uh,
Put it in the chat.
Dr. Paul says, Matt, I don't want to say where I got my first stethoscope. Wink,
I
wink.
know we got it. Prestige Medical. I worked there. Amir and I both worked there.
Okay. Well, hold on. First of all,
somebody gave you just some super chat.
Yes, that's Eric Geyer. I can't remember if it's Geyer or Gare. He's told me a million times. Eric, type it phonetically so I don't screw it up. But thank you for opening up the super chat. And Eric's in a band. Maybe he wants to get on the NFC. By the way, Matt, I don't see what you. Oh, you sent it in a private chat. I got it.
Yeah.
You're good at this.
Comments?
No, it's fine. I'll take it out of there. But anyway, Eric, thank you so much because that's what really keeps the channel going. To be honest. As much as I like to just sit here and talk to Matt all day, I could do that on a plane. Okay, hold on. Now, this is the link. If you have a band or you have music and you want to get it on an NFC, this is the link to use. This is for you. Make sure you use this link, though, so Matt will be rewarded because he is an ambassador.
That's right. That's right. I am.
And it's Geyer, Eric Geyer. He's a channel member. He's a generous supporter. And yeah, he's interested in the NFC. So it's in the chat right now. Thank you, Eric. It's appreciated. Now this was not necessary.
This is Thorne.
Yeah, there goes all the money.
Thorne. I like how she is that the other person left $50. Mrs. Thorne is a penny less. Is there a reason for that?
She wanted to undercut. She didn't want to look like she was showing off. It's very nice, not necessary, but thank you, but Mrs. Thorne. But she just got rid of all your royalties. Everything you made.
We had. Yep, that's right. Somebody said it's paid for my hat, but now we're going to start over.
Somebody, please buy some more of these things, because otherwise Matt's royalties all went to my dinner. Matt Thorne rules. That is true. Matt Thorne does. Yeah, there goes the Burbank win. They're probably going to have to find a new place to live now.
Yeah, well, we can go to a cheaper state. Maybe we can move to Amarillo, Texas.
It's possible.
Amarillo,
yeah. I hope that Grey's Anatomy gets picked up for some more seasons, because now that she's just throwing the money around.
Now, and you got another one. You got somebody else.
Yeah, well, apparently I had a fish for it. This is AZ. AZ is also a loyal supporter of the channel. Okay, we'll do this. Rank the following
order. We got a couple more sales too. Thank you very much, everybody.
What happened?
We got a couple more sales here.
Oh, good. That'll make up for your wife giving all the money.
I think I'm caught back up now.
Yeah. Okay. Rank the following in order of pop culture relevance: Dr. Love, Gene Simmons; Dr. Doom, which is the comic book character, enemy of the Fantastic Four; and Dr. Shortino.
What do you think? I have my answers.
Pop culture. I mean, listen. I wish my show reached more people, but I'm going to have to say, Dr. Doom is probably the most popular. I think everybody knows comic books. Then I'm going to say Dr. Love by Kiss, and then I would have said Dr. Zhivago, but I'm gonna have to put Dr. Shortino last.
Okay, so I'm different. I'm going to go with Dr. Love because I don't know, and I don't know who Dr. Doom is. I don't think, so I'm going to go Dr. Shortino, and then Dr. Doom.
When I'm not surprised you don't know who Dr. Doom is. When Wednesday is here or Sean is here, we play the FMK game where it's a very sexist game.
It is.
But when you're here, we play Rate the Doctors.
That's right.
The other day, we're all backstage, at the big rock and roll concert, and the guys in the band were talking about going for PSA tests and having prostates examined,
Yes.
not by each other, but by a doctor, and prostatitis and what to look for, discharge, things like that. And I started giggling. And Johnny said, "What's so funny?" And I said, "What's so funny is how many people ask us for backstage passes. Some insist that their passes aren't good enough. I deserve better. I should have a better ticket. And I want to be backstage. For what? To see a bunch of middle-aged to senior men discuss their health? It's ridiculous. So nobody..."
We were talking about prostates, which we were recommending. I think Johnny and I, and we're recommending to Eric that he gets the PSA test.
Eric is the youngest of the band. I am the youngest of the entourage, although Michelle tours with us now and is younger than me. But she's not so worried about the prostate exam, at least not her own. But so we were talking about it, and Eric was thinking about it's probably time for a colonoscopy. And I asked him if he had done the box test yet, which, you go to the bathroom in a box and then you mail it to somebody. Could you imagine the guy who receives that box? What a job.
I know that's why I'm against the box.
I did the box, but Matt makes a good point. They cannot tell polyps in the box. They'll tell if you got cancer, though. So
But
it's
too
good
late.
Say again?
Too late if you send the box in and they go, "Yep, you got cancer," could be too late.
Yeah, that's a good point. I was a little bit under the age. Like I was the appropriate age to shit in a box, but not the appropriate age to get the colonoscopy. But now it's probably time for all of it. But they can check for the polyps. Let's see.
You got to clip those. They got to be clipped so they don't
Yeah.
grow into cancer.
Just in case. Yeah. A lot of people, let's see here. We forgot Dr. Feelgood, Dr. Chicago.
Somebody asked about these Thorne vitamin supplements.
Do you know about
I don't own them, but Ramel, my wife, did buy these Thorne vitamins, not because they were named that, because I think somewhere she read that they were very good, but we sent them back.
Why?
And the reason is they were as large as my pick thing. Number one, you choke on them. Number two, they smell terrible. So we got rid of them. So they're not in the Thorne household anymore. They're gone.
Now
we have I think we have some go-go gummies and some vitamin what's the emergency. That's our vitamin existence. California
Dreaming is a nurse. You know her, Matt. We see her when we're in Ohio. You signed her shirt. She said, "I've done a few transrectals to check men's prostates." I think that means she sticks her finger up guys' asses. Excuse me. I should probably talk in medical terms. Up their buttholes to make sure that they don't have prostatitis.
That's a worse job than the person who received the box from the.
That's tough.
None of these are good jobs. These are bad career choices.
God bless these people. Yeah, they should be getting super chats. Listen, no wonder the medical field is so. No one wants to be in it. Dean says, "Jason, I love your channel. Tell Matt I've got some old Metal Edge and Hip Raider magazines that he's endorsing guitar bass amps, and he's got real long hair. It's Carvin he was endorsing."
Yeah, Carvin. That's right.
And right now, if you want to see one of those, go to my Instagram. It's on. It's under my name over. And you can see it. I shared it in my story.
Steven sends me that poster once, probably 3 times a year. Have you seen this?
Can I tell? Matt, can I tell the story about the picture that he found? And I can tell it
No,
clean.
no, no, no. I don't like that story.
Okay, it's a good one, folks.
It's a good story, but I can't.
Yeah, well, Matt, long I'll censor very much of it, but Stephen found an old picture of Matt from the partying days when everyone was wild, and he showed it to Matt's wife, who I don't think was aware of how much partying those wacky, rough cut kids were doing, and she saw a whole new Matt Thorne that day, and they probably had a very wild night. We were somewhere really stupid. Where were we? Sacramento, maybe.
Yeah, at a casino, and I think it was in Sacramento. I think
Yeah.
you're right.
All right, so we can't tell you that story. You'll have to guess. All right, let's see here. Any plans for Stephen Pearcy to come to Shreveport, Louisiana? No, not that I know of. I'd like to. I'd like to go to the closest we're going to get to Louisiana, I believe, is Texarkana. So, California Dreaming would like you to know that she's an ultrasound tech. She's not a
Oh,
professional ass fingerer. She has a
okay,
title.
good.
Yeah. Yeah, they say the cleansing before the colonoscopy is really the hard part. I don't think it would be hard for me. I'm a fan of fasting, and yeah.
Now, I don't know if you know this, but my father-in-law is a police officer, so
I do know
we have to
that.
be very careful of what we say because we could be in trouble.
Yeah, well, I think the statute of limitations have passed, Matt.
Yeah, that's true. But he's from a small town. They might not abide by the statute of limitations.
Matt, I see. I don't think he watches either. When
No.
we go through, he should be out looking for the people who are eating the dogs and the cats. You heard about this? It's crazy. Yeah,
I like
they got
this new song that somebody
good.
put out. That's a great song.
It's good. Yeah. I wish I could share the link for that guy because he's giving all the money for the proceeds to an animal shelter, especially one in Springfield, Ohio, which is where this horrible epidemic has occurred. But the chorus of the song is they're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats, they're eating the pets of the people who live there. And it'll be in your head forever. You won't be able to stop singing. Oh, California Dreaming wants to know she does not use fingers.
Okay.
She uses the entire fist. No, she uses an ultrasound probe. Oh, that sounds a little bit safer. I would like to do that. I once had a doctor ask me. He thought I might have had prostatitis, and he told me that he was going to check my prostate.
Hmm.
I was maybe 45 at the time. I don't know, 40, probably 40. And I said, okay. And he stuck his finger in there and he said, "You feel uncomfortable?" And I said, "Well, I mean, besides a guy has his finger in my ass, maybe not. I mean, nothing more uncomfortable than that." And it turned out I was fine.
Now, I went to get a physical once, and the doctor played a joke on me and put lube on that little metal table they have with some gloves before he came in. And I go, "Are you serious? We're gonna really do this?" He goes, "No, we're not doing that." He goes, "That's old technology. A lot of people were misdiagnosed when we did this kind of thing. So we just do the PSA now." That's
Only
what
you would have a doctor who's making jokes. He's a jokester. Grace says, from FMKs and pocket rockets with Wednesday to prostate exams and vitamins with Matt. Love the variety. Yeah, well, we like to mix it up.
Well,
here.
this is a definitely interesting subject we're pointing on.
This is Joseph Lacey. I got complimented on the cleanliness of my colon. By the way, I still have my Wants You Tour T-shirt. You don't hear those two things every day.
No. I've never seen that in the same sentence.
A 16-year-old me got up front at some club in Phoenix. Amazing show. Well, how cool! You got to see the Wants You lineup of Rough Cut.
Somebody asked what's my favorite track on Want You. I would say Bad Reputation.
Bad Reputation. Okay, I missed it. And yes, speaking of prostate exams, you can't not think about Fletch. Have you ever seen the movie Fletch?
Probably. Is it with Chevy Chase?
Yeah.
It is. Okay, I got that right.
Doctor tells him to bend over, and he says, he goes, "Hey Doc, you gonna use the whole fist back there?" And then he says, "Moon River." But yeah. All right, let's see. A lot of, I mean, we've turned a lot of this into uh,
A
uh, uh,
medical documentary.
a medical show. And if they try to take away my monetization because of the language, this is purely,
Have we
uh,
done anything uh, that would be thought of as a negative?
you never know. What the algorithm just listens, it doesn't take things in context.
Okay.
This is the hard rocking trivia show. I wish they offered us some trivia. We could have had Matt. Matt is an expert on trivia of all subjects. You could ask Matt Thorne trivia, and I'm not sure he would answer it right. Uh, anyway,
This-
I saw Ronnie James Dio get up and play with Rough Cut at the country club. Did Dio do that more than once? Very good question.
yes, I will. Now, there's a really cool picture I have of Ronnie doing a gig with us at a naval base. Now that's interesting, right?
What would he sing?
I did Heaven and Hell with him
Wow.
at a
That's
naval base. Let me see if I can get it off my Instagram here. Hold on.
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah,
that-
yeah.
that's a really cool
You
picture.
see if you can get it up. We'll
Yeah,
continue
I
talking about
I
Fox.
think I can get it. Let's see.
These are the kind of things I said in introduction that Matt is, very matter of fact. Out of nowhere, you'll find out that he played a naval base and he performed Heaven and Hell with Dio. I mean, he's got
Yeah.
some cool
Oh,
stuff.
there it is. It's this picture.
Oh, hold on. Well, let me offer a
me see if
solo
I-
layout.
Yeah.
You got to kind of tilt
There's
that in.
me, obviously. I am having trouble. There I am, and there's Ronnie. We're doing Heaven and Hell at a naval base.
How cool. Yeah.
Now,
Well,
let me see if I can copy this picture. It's hard to copy. It's hard to copy pictures on. You have to do a screenshot on
you got a screenshot.
Instagram. Let me see here.
Rough Cut for me will always be one of my most underrated bands from that era. Very nice.
Let me see. I'm going to send this to myself.
Matt, you're not going to thank the guy for saying that you're one of his favorite underrated bands?
Where is that? Put him up.
Cecil Music.
Oh
Or
yeah.
Cecil.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Thanks. Where's this guy from? Cecil.
That's a good question, Cecil. Where are you from? Here's a good question, and Matt does have an answer because we talked about this. Does Matt remember Joe Ellis? I think his name is Joel Ellis from the
Mhm.
band Cats and Boots. He played with Rough Cut at some show. He was trying out for Rough Cut. This is a good story if Matt wants to tell it.
Yeah. So after Paul, he joined Quiet Riot, and we were out of a singer. So we were auditioning singers. So we auditioned. Joe Lestay. He was one of the auditions. We auditioned Joe Ellis, and we auditioned Perry McCarty, who was from Warrior. And Joe Ellis was from Cats and Boots, and we auditioned a lot. Oh, Logan, we auditioned him. All these, and so we came down at the end with Joe Ellis and Perry McCarty from Warrior. So we decided we were going to really try them out at a real gig. So there was Children of the Night or something that was going on at Irvine Meadows, which was an outdoor amphitheater that that Ronnie was playing, headlining, and we were going to do 2 songs, and we did Nobody's Fault by Aerosmith and Dazed and Confused by Led Zeppelin. And Joe Ellis was to sing Nobody's Fault because he had more of a Steven Tyler vibe, and Perry had more of a Led Zeppelin, Robert Plant thing, so he did Dazed and Confused. And Joe Ellis came out first and decided he was going to do one of those jumps off the drum riser like David Lee Roth, jumped off. And by the way, Paul was playing that night too, and told Joel Ellis, to have a good show and break a leg. That's exactly what happened. Joel Ellis jumped off the drum stage, landed on the regular stage, and broke his leg and couldn't get up. So Perry got the gig.
We ran into Joel on the road in the place from the Twilight Zone movie. Next stop, I can't remember the episode. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Which one was it?
We starts with a W. The Twilight Zone. Next stop. It was the Rib Fest. Wherever we were for the Rib Fest.
We can't remember where we
That's
were.
made up. Anyway,
So-
Joel Ellis.
It could have been a rib fest. It could have been a pork chop fest. We don't know.
Could have been a chili cook-off. When we talk about the set list, people say, I want to hear this one, or I want to hear that one. Or why don't you play Giving Yourself Away? Or why don't you play that one deep song? Well, the problem is that, well, it's a good problem to have. Ratt has a lot of hit songs that people want to hear. And you can't skip at least 8 to 10 of those songs that people want to hear. So it's hard to get things in. And I often say, when you're at the state fair or the chili cook-off, there's a lot of casual fans, and they want to hear
Mhm.
"Lay It Down" and "Round and Round," and they don't know every song. This is AZ. Thank you so much for the super chat. Now this is a good one, and Matt has an answer. Is the double T in Rough Cut a callback to Matt's connection to Ratt?
I don't think it's my personal connection, but yes, I think that this was a idea that was stole from Ratt. Yes, but
And
not my personal.
three of the members of Rough Cut were in Ratt at various times.
That's right.
Rock and Dave played for a little while. Chris
Yep.
Hager was in Mickey Ratt back in, I think, 1947. And so
That's
there was
right.
different. You were there in 1981. You can get the guitar pick for a limited time right now. And yes, it was called Elkin Willoughby. Next up, Willoughby. That was where we were. And Joel Ellis was there too. Gina Simpson was here late, but she said, my hair looks good. And that's really all that matters.
I sent you the picture of Ronnie and I in your text. I don't know how to do it on here.
I won't be able to get it off of the text because the phone is the camera.
Oh,
Put it on, share it on your Instagram and let people go see it.
oh, it's there. It's already on my Instagram.
Yeah. What is your Instagram? MT?
What is is it MT Studios _ Matt Thorne? I think it is.
That is
Yeah.
what it is.
Yeah.
That is what it is. Does Blas transport his drums for the Ratt shows? This is a good question for people who aren't touring weekend warrior musicians. No, there's a back line at every show. Sometimes you have a problem when you get the wrong drum set, or when someone. But it's my job to make sure we get the right one. Let's see. We'll get out of here soon, because now that I have that Matt's wife sent me all the money, I'm gonna go eat dinner.
You got to go enjoy it.
I love the version of "Tell the World" on the Metal Massacre album, and Matt is the first recorded bass player in the history of rap. It's the truth. Look at that. There it is, right there.
There it is. And this was the reissue I had. And Steven had to send me this. I tried to buy it because my mom had the original and she lost it. So I couldn't find it. So this is something that I tried to buy, and Steven said, I'll send you one. So that was nice enough of Steven to send me.
They're both very expensive. The original is ridiculously priced. But even that one you have right there that I think is red vinyl, those are like $200 or $300 because they made a very Metal Blade made a very small amount. But it's another connection to your career with Metallica. We talked about how Sarge played Metallica. That is the beginning of Ratt and the beginning of Metallica on that vinyl album. Right there. Okay, let's see.
Somebody asked me about Jailhouse. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, hold on. Dr. Paul says that most people don't know that you do a perfect Ronald Reagan impression behind closed doors. Is there any truth to that?
I don't remember doing that. I forgot how to do it then. I don't even remember doing that.
Johnny thinks you would do a Gerald Ford impression, but I think that's just because sometimes you trip on things. Let's see. The original has the terrible version of "Hit the Lights," as he says. I saw Jailhouse live. Here he is. There's the guy. And it was always surprising to me that they never got a major label deal. Does Matt have some insight? Good question.
We really made an effort. I think that they weren't buying it. We had a manager that he ended up doing really well, actually. He moved to Europe and had a band called Busted in Europe, and they used to play Wembley Stadium, and they were like kind of a young teen band. But anyway, I think that the record labels weren't buying the hype because we had this manager that had a lot of money, and we were paying for ads on cable TV and things like this, and I just don't think they bought the hype. So I don't think it happened. And also maybe we were a little late on the whole Warrant poison game, so
Mhm.
that could have been a problem too. And I don't think, honestly, I don't think the songs were very good. So especially lyrically, I think they were a little pretentious, and it was never really my thing. I liked a little heavier of a sound. But I think the band was a good band and we played well.
Yeah, I got to tell you, as you said, it's a little late to the game, but a lot of your life after Jailhouse became right there in that studio. I mean,
Yeah, I decided it was all after the Grass Band. I decided I do not want to be in a band anymore. I'm sick and tired of somebody taking it down within the project. So I was done with that, and I decided I'm going to go take some UCLA extension courses and learn how to do the console. And I had a guy who was my mentor, kind of. He was the engineer for Kansas, named Brad Aaron, and he taught me a lot early on. He did the early Sarge demos, and he was explaining things. It was kind of like foreign when he would talk to me, because he would say, "Oh, it's too much 1K. We got to set the ratio to 4:1," and I didn't know what he's talking about. So I kind of went back to him, and he's taught me some more of the ropes of the engineering world. And then I went to school for it, and then I really got into it. And right away, I was introduced to the Dust Brothers, and I started doing things for them. And they had Beck, they had the Eels, which is behind me. This album right there, you can see. They were on DreamWorks, and I got in with them, and I had early success. And then later, in the early 2000s, that the new metal came along and trap came through, and I was doing kind of a lot of new metal stuff, and I produced some stuff with Amir that we had on some labels, and it was very interesting to me. Later, when 2008 hit, the whole economic world came to an end. I decided I needed to do other kind of things. So went 20 years without playing live, but it was all because I just felt like you weren't in control of your own life. You were always you were at this other mercy of these other members of your band, and I felt like you couldn't control your destiny. So that's why I quit doing it. But then I
it's
got back.
interesting. The people who've come into that studio to record, a lot of what would be considered legendary people, Janie Lane, we've talked about, Blackie Lawless, and probably bigger ones than I'm even naming. Those are just two that we just talked about.
Disturbed,
Recent.
Disturbed,
Hmm.
lots of big acts, especially I don't. It's not as much happen anymore. It doesn't happen as much anymore because the whole industry changed, right? But there was a time there where CDs were selling and people were making a lot of money in the music industry, and it was a lot. There was a filtering system in place where record labels would go, "You're no good, you're no good, you're no good, but you're good. We'll put you out there." Now that system is kind of gone. So since then, it's just all watered down. It's much more difficult for an artist to get noticed, and through all the other clutter that's out there. But you're right. There's been a lot of I can't even remember it half the time, like who's been in here. But it was really, I loved it, and it's at this point in my life, I've done it so many years. Probably, I think since 1995, I started doing this. So it's been, I don't know, how many years is that? 30?
I didn't know there was going to be math on the test. It's more
It's
than
like,
yeah, about
yeah, 30.
I think 29 years.
I'm liking playing live now. I like to mix it up. I'm glad we get to play, and I'm glad I get to do this. It kind of gives my life a little bit of change of pace, because this can get really old because you're doing other people's music most of the time. So I like
Well,
to
the
change
people
up.
should know you do more than music there. People come in and do spoken word and audio books and whatever audio needs to be recorded. So you
I
spend
had
a lot of time
What's
listening
the
to other
guy?
people.
Ed Asner was here once.
Yeah, that's a great one. Yeah, the great Ed Asner. I
Yeah,
mean, holy moly, that's a big one. Uh,
yeah, that's another one. It's a great
mhm.
video for that Johnny did.
Yeah, very, very good, unreleased. But so a lot of things there. Matt had played in Steven's solo band for quite some time. I want to thank Southern Drummer for the super chat. Very kind of you. Thank you. Um, But when Stephen was on the road right after the pandemic, a lot of people were not so interested in going out and touring. It was a scary time, and so and then Matt, you also had some health issues of your own.
Back surgery, bad back surgery. It was I couldn't walk for 3 months, but yeah, I got out of it with
And
a
I
good.
was messaging Matt from the road saying, "We need you here. We got to get you out here." And he would say, "Well, I just had back surgery," and I'd say, "Oh, that's nothing," you know.
I was
Like,
scared I wasn't gonna be able to sit on planes.
right.
I was afraid. It was difficult for me to sit for long periods of time. So I was thinking, am I going to be able to make it? But then I went with Ramel somewhere. I think we went to Cancun, and
Mhm.
I made it for 5 hours. Like, well, maybe I can do this. And then my wife, really convinced me to do those first 5 shows. I wasn't going to do any more in those first 5 shows.
Mhm.
And then she saw how much fun I was having, and she goes, you know what? You go do it. So she kind of gave me the green light to go do it, and then, you know, now I've been doing it.
We have a good time. In the
Yes,
upcoming episodes, you'll see me, you, and Blas hanging out, and I think a lot of us have a similar interest. You and Blas, neither one of you needs the money from touring. Not to say that making money is not a bad thing, but it's not your first job, so to speak, for either
no,
of you. Blas is definitely trans first, trans Siberian. But we have a good time seeing things, and you know. I talk about aging a lot on my show lately. I'm about to turn 50, and it's crazy. But I say to people, you don't want to wake up one day and say, "Oh wow, I'm old and I missed out on seeing things and I missed out on life." And so at this point, we're always the first ones to go. If there's something to do, let's do it. Well, we were in South Dakota, and Matt said, "I've never seen Mount Rushmore." So Blas goes. I was there 100 years ago. I had only been there with Steven not too long. We said, let's take a trip. We took the rental car. We went out to Mount Rushmore. We hiked. We had a great time. And then we went to this thing called Bear Country, where you drive through this safari and there's bears. Uh, and they said, you know, you shouldn't get out, but if you want to get out, I mean, it was the rule, the rules were scary, but that episode is coming very soon. But we have a good time because we like being there. I've worked with a lot of bands. Obviously, Matt's been in a lot of bands. It's a good chemistry of people. We do get along. We do have a good time hanging out and seeing things. But it's not just about these shows. It's about when you're in these cities. After Jonesboro, Arkansas, Stephen and I are going to Graceland. I mean, you know, these are crazy things that you just didn't think you would be doing. Southern Drummer says, I just ordered an NFC for Matt, and I plan to show it to my friend Leland Sklar. Leland
oh
Sklar,
wow,
one of the
that's
great bass
awesome.
players. You know?
I wonder if he knows about this technology. You know, this is a big K-pop thing, so not a lot of people in America know. And
I
that's
don't think Leland Sklar does much K-pop. So yeah,
that company that's in here somewhere that you pointed up is the only company in America that does this. They're first ones, and I think the guy said who owns the company is moving. They just got a shop in downtown LA, so they're going to be manufacturing them here now, or they were manufactured in Korea. So it'll be really easy to get. So tell your friend, give Lee Sklar that Leland. Is it, how do you say it again?
Leland Sklar.
Leland Sklar, give him the link to that. And because I know I see him all the time. He's selling a book, right? He sells this Leland Sklar book. So anyway, yeah, give him that link and tell him to go there and put his music on there if he has any. I don't know. I know he's selling a book. I don't know if he's selling music.
Yeah,
But you can do it with a book too. That's
well, yeah.
another thing. You can do this NFC with an audio book. So it's a great way to promote things.
Matt, did you work on the record "Dust" by Badlands?
Yes, I mixed that record.
With your old roommate Jake.
Yep, that's right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Let's see here. In 1987, Rough Cutt played Colonels. Meet and greet before the show wasn't promoted, so no one showed up. I got to hang out with the guys. Matt told me a story of the song Black Widow. Got a 12-pack of Bud with Paul Shortino. What's the story behind Black Widow? Is it interesting?
I don't know if it's interesting, but Black Widow was a riff that Amir had, and it was an interesting timing. It had It had a 4/4 bar and then a 2/4 bar. So it had like a 2/4 bar. It was, and we didn't really know what to do with it. So the producer, Tom Allen, who produced Judas Priest, he suggested this whole drum beat thing. And so he wrote the whole drum beat to this Black Widow song. And we recorded the song, and it sounded very rock, or very, I don't know what you call it, like very basic. And then he just magically produced it with all these cool effects and things. And when I went to her, my bass had a distortion on it through Marshall amps, and I used a whammy bar on the main part of the song. I think it was the verses, and the Marshall made the whammy thing. It was kind of a bend kind of thing, and it was really cool, and he made it work really nicely. But the producer, I give him a lot of credit for that, for making that song really come to life. His drum ideas, his production ideas, and one of my favorite songs on that record.
This question's been asked a lot. That was my insulin alarm going off. If people are wondering what that noise is, there is a. If it goes off again, I'll fix it. But that's what that noise was. Hey Matt, now we've answered this question a lot, but we'll give a quick answer. Did you change your name from Matt Thor to Matt Thorne?
No, I changed my name from Matt Thorne to Matt Thor. I didn't change it. Actually, Wendy Dio did. And she thought it was a good idea to be a superhero, like a god of thunder, Hercules, or whatever. She thought this kind of comic thing was a good idea. And I think I wore a cape on one show. And after digesting the whole idea of capes and Hercules, I just went back to Matt Thorne.
Okay. And nice comment. Steven's band is so tight now. I would agree. Thomas says the chemistry in the band is so nice to see at the moment. It's cool that you guys are so tight. And Jason, I hope you have a Halloween live show. We'll see. Going to see where I am, but I would like to. Thanks to Matt's wife for encouraging Matt to get back on the road. Love watching him on stage. Well, Matt's wife is a shrewd business person. She negotiated his deal, and and here he is.
He is. She negotiates all deals here.
In no way you were born in 1974. Well, yes, I was. Some guy in the comments the other day tried to be every now and then someone tries to be a Weisenheimer, and they thought that I looked way much older than that. There's no way that I'm just turning 50. And they said that. How much longer are you going to keep the black hair dye? People love to get angry. But if you think that's a stupid comment, let me tell you about the one I got today, Matt. When we were in Atlanta's airport, they had a Martin Luther King display. Dr. Martin Luther King, a man who stood for peace and civil rights. The civil rights movement was not that long ago. It's almost crazy to think there was a time when people couldn't sit at the same counter, but yet it was a time that was in our parents' lifetime. So they had this display. And I will point out that when I'm in Memphis, I'm going to go to the Civil Rights Museum, and I'm going to go to the site of the Martin Luther King assassination. I find it to be a fascinating part of history. But this guy said in the comments, I won't give his name away, he said, I liked the new Tour Diary, but I didn't like the MLK Museum. It was 4 minutes of me showing clothing and personal artifacts by Dr. Martin Luther King in an airport. It was, you got to be racist, right? To have a problem.
Yeah. Or if you and if you are racist, why would you advertise it?
Right. Well, it didn't seem like a comment that needed to be made.
Yeah, you're exactly right.
Because a lot of people in the comments thanking Mrs. Thorne for dragging Matt out of retirement, and I thank her as well, and for dressing McDreamy. I think she only dressed McDreamy once in a flashback scene, but I don't really know. I don't watch the show.
It was a beach flashback scene. I think it was during the COVID time, where people were getting COVID also in Grey's Anatomy in the show as part of the script. And I think at one point he came to in a dream to the beach. I think to So it's part of the show. Yeah.
Never Gonna Die. There's that damn alarm.
Are
I
you?
gotta
Are
turn it
you
off.
gonna need? What do you need? You need honey. I always rescue you from these things.
Yes.
I get
Read
oranges.
this. Read this comment and answer it. I'll be back in 2
Yeah.
seconds.
Never this is a single. I believe that the record company should have released "Dreaming Again" instead of. And you know what? You're exactly right about this because we got signed off "Dreaming Again," and they released "Never Gonna Die," which was always shocking to me. I think we had done that "Piece of My Heart" song by Janis Joplin, and the record company loved us the way we did that song so much, and that was basically Paul's idea to have this wild thing, kind of Jimi Hendrix kind of music going on with the "Piece of My Heart" melody and lyrics. And the record company loved the way we did that so much. They said, we want you to do this song by the Choir Boys that was out of Australia, called "Never Gonna Die." And we heard the song and we just thought, this isn't really us. We really fought it. We didn't want to do the song. And then the record company kind of forced on us. We changed the key of it, kind of made it more ours. But at the end of the day, I think you're right. It should have been "Dreaming Again." And that was the song they signed us for. So I don't know why they decided to put out "Never Gonna Die" when it wasn't even our song to begin with.
Interesting. We learned a lot there. Jason, thank you for the videos you do. It'd be cool to have all them on DVD to keep it up for good work. Appreciate it. I've thought about it. I'm thinking about it. We're on episode 67 right now, but I thought
Jeez.
it'd be fun to do to do a DVD set that I'll do some commentary and put some footage in that no one's ever seen. There's a lot of footage I've never aired because I can't. Matt's in some of the best footage. For example, New Mexico was the worst show we ever played. Not the band. It just wasn't organized. It was you can watch the episode and you can see a little bit. I never show the full crowd. And I never show just how crazy it was. When this is all over, I'll put it out. But we don't want people to think that we play some ridiculous gigs. But anyway, one day maybe I'll put it out. Maybe I'll put it on an NFC. That might that honestly might be the easiest thing.
No, you can. I was going to say that. You should do that. The nice thing about these NFTs is there's no minimum order. So your minimum order is one. So if you want to get one, it's $4.99. So it's a pretty good. You're not investing in 100 of these. You can invest in one. See if you could sell one or give away one.
Yes. Well, I would like
this. Matt, do you want to dish on a mirror and get a blabbermouth headline? What does that mean? I don't know. Does that mean talk bad about him?
Well, I didn't see the
Dr.
comment.
Sortino. I don't know what dish does. Dish mean?
The dish means like say here it is. It's Dr. Paul. I don't know what you could say about Amir that's all that controversy, and you're controversial, and you're still friends with Amir.
No, yeah, I like Amir. There's nothing bad. I like his band. I like Amir. I like everything about Amir.
Matt's been Amir's been on the show, and so people are asking about his audition for Ozzy. He talks about all of it at length. You check out that interview. Here's a question. It's a good question. Have you ever met Juan Croucier?
Yeah, I met Juan Croucier. He used to borrow my amplifiers back in Ratt days. So he'd come to my house and pick up I think I had an SVT cab and a GK head, and he would borrow it and take it to the gig. And there was actually one point where I asked Juan, because I actually respected Juan a lot and thought he was a good bass player. And I asked him, I go, he was older than me. So I was a young player and I felt like I was getting a lot of clack out of when I play with my fingers. I felt like there's too much clack. And I asked him, how do you avoid that? And he said, play lighter. So I didn't really take his advice. All I did was move my hand from the middle of the bass between the bridge and the neck over closer to the bridge, and that fixed the problem. But I like Juan. I thought he was a great bass player. I actually saw him do a bass solo with Dawkins at the Roxy.
Wow.
And it was really good bass solo. And yeah, I thought he was a really good player.
I don't want to name any names, but 2 out of 3 Ratt members say they wish you would have stayed, and they never met one. But I'm not going to name them. Thomas says he thought the best thing he ever saw was the airport display of the MLK stuff. He appreciated it. I could see if you didn't like it, why would you comment? You could only look bad. Matt seems to be level-headed, unlike a lot of rockers from his era. I think Matt was forced to grow up. I think he says that. It was time to go to work. And so yes, I think he is
Bloss is
level-headed.
very much like that too. Bloss is very level-headed.
Yes. Oh, it's when Blas was joining, when I was in the process of pitching him, I said he has a temperament a lot like Matt. The two of them could lull you to sleep because they're very even keel. Never, look, I've seen jerks in my life in this business. Blas and Matt would never come to mind. And you know what? You guys have had some success in this industry, and you treat people the same. I've never seen Blas or you not say hello to somebody or not. It's just not, this isn't rocket science. And I think it's good that everyone is having a good time.
I
And
can't
then
dance like one. No.
Tim Sheridan, who is a channel member, would like to know, does Matt's wife design his stage clothes?
100%. We do fittings. I have pictures because I can't remember what I'm supposed to wear. There was a time where I wore the wrong pants with the wrong top, and she was very upset at me. She says that wasn't supposed to go together. So I have fitting. They're called fitting photos. This is what she does for her shows. She has fitting photos, and that you look back at these fitting photos to make sure the actress or actor is wearing the right outfit. So I have these, and they're labeled 1, 2, 3, 4. And she says I have to have a fitting. I'm supposed to do a fitting tonight. This is
Oh, we better
what
hurry.
I'm supposed to do a fitting, and we're gonna take fitting photos, and we gotta match, all the shoes with the belt, with the pants, and the shirt. I mean, let me just say something. I think I would wear a t-shirt and jeans, right? And she knows. She knows what she designed one outfit recently that Jason wasn't really a big fan of. He thought I should be going to a gay club. I had a net
Well,
shirt.
listen, no, I didn't think that there was anything wrong with you looking like you were going to a gay club, but it did look a little bit like, and I wasn't the only one to think this. You looked a little bit like a police officer undercover infiltrating a secret society in a gay bar. The
Now,
blue
let me
lights
tell you,
were.
one of my clients was here. He goes, and he's from Israel, and he goes, "You look like a rock star in that picture." He thought I looked like a rock star with this thing, and I thought you would like it because it's very punk.
No, I think it was very punk rock, and I do like it. It was just, I think it might have been a little more punk rock than what we're used to. And there's nothing wrong with being a gay either.
Matt's mesh shirt. This guy got it, Jason Holstein.
Yeah, he was at that show.
But I liked the net shirt, the mesh shirt with the tank top underneath, because I'm 416 years old. So to have just to go with the mesh shirt would have been a little revealing for a senior citizen. But with the tank top, it kind of hid any kind of objects that could be seen.
Well, you don't hide your age. You're 62 years old, and you look damn good. You know what I mean? I would be proud.
No, I don't care. It's too late to try to fake it now. It's just
Well, and you're married. Well, you know what I mean? There's only one person who's got to put up with you, and you guys are a great couple. You're a power couple.
Yeah, that's true.
Let's see. I'm trying to get through these so we can all get out of here and get back to our life. I like this one. Amy says, "Hi, Matt. I'm not familiar with you, but I do see you on Jason's YouTube videos." Matt has a lot of fans now that were not born when
People recognize me more from your show than anything. Oh, I like you on Jason's show. They don't know what the hell I've done, but they do like me on your show.
The only person that gets a perfect rating on my show is you. Everybody says how nice Matt is. Other people hit or miss, but
you might not get monetized, right? I mean, we could have destroyed that with the whole prostate problem.
Maybe I'll appeal it. It's medical. I have a counselor on the site. Hey, Jason, have you ever interviewed Juan Crucier? I have not. I think it would be a conflict of interest right now between Stephen and Juan because they're the co-owners of Ratt. And obviously, there's some things going on, so I think it'd be a conflict. I would interview him. I don't find him to be the best person personally. I went on the road, and I thought he was a little. He wasn't my favorite person to work with, but I still would have him on. But I don't think it will ever happen, and I don't think he'll ever be involved in rap. But listen, never say never. Okay, let's wrap this up here. Okay. Uh-oh. Apparently, there's breaking news about P Diddy right now.
Oh, wow.
Uh, I mean, so breaking news is there. I would report on it, but I don't. Look, P Diddy's a mess. That guy should be in jail for life. He denied that he abused this woman, and then he really beat the hell out of her. And there's a video of it. He's been arrested. Grand jury indictment in Manhattan. P Diddy's been arrested in a Manhattan hotel. These rappers are so stupid. Some of them, not all, but they think they're invincible. This guy thinks he was Scarface. He thought he was Pablo Escobar. And by the way, it didn't end good for those guys either. And he's a horrible person. And yeah, good for him. Let him go to jail. I met him several times, by the way. He was nicer than Juan Crusade, but what can I say? Okay. Yeah. I like when people give like really statements that are hard to argue. Women beaters suck. Yeah, well, I'm with you.
Any beaters suck, right? I mean, like, period. Like, just kind of beating is
He's
not a good
definitely not going to be a fan of Ratt's drummer, former drummer, who has a rap sheet as long as P Diddy, probably allegedly. Um, all right. Anyway, we had a good chat, almost 2 hours. Matt, I thought we talked for an hour. We'll be out of here. If you haven't seen the first interview with Matt, I don't think I even knew Matt when I did the interview, and not
No, you
personally.
didn't. No. Mm-mm.
And it's great, and to hear these stories in a length. If you want to go on right now in the description, get a set of these picks, and it's a limited thing. He's never made these kind of picks. I know I sound like a salesman. I'm being funny sometimes, but it's true. I actually wanted these, so I told Matt to make them.
This was all your idea.
Well,
I was
yeah.
against it a little bit because I didn't know how to do it without, it sounded a little ingratiating doing it. And also I didn't want to use Ratt and the Ratt name to sell product, right? So I tried to come up with this way. I was actually in Ratt, so I thought, well, it's not so bad if I was in Ratt. Maybe I put the date I'm in Ratt and the date I was in Rough Cut and the date I was in Jailhouse, and it'll make a little more sense to me and not make me feel so like I'm tagging onto somebody's coattail. And that's kind of that's why I was against it. But your idea was great. And I got to commend you for giving me the idea, because I like the way they turned out. And it actually turned out like a decade of the 80s that I was in. And so I'm happy. I'm happy I did it, but it was tough. You pitched it to me for a long time.
Yeah, and I'm glad you did it, because it's a cool thing for fans of that genre. I just learned that the Jailhouse logo had a peace sign in the O. I don't think I ever noticed that.
That's right. Yeah.
But
Well,
anyway,
that was very difficult to me to do the art of this, because I had to grab these logos off the internet and then cut them all out, and the peace sign was difficult.
If you want to get the NFC and the pick set, 25% off if you use the code WST at checkout. So anyway, I want to make sure that everyone knows about that. The link is in the description. And I need to revisit the first Matt interview. I don't remember who influenced Matt to play. Well, it's in there. You got to watch. You'll hear it. Is Matt still signing his CD if I buy it? Thank you for watching your vlog.
I'm signing the NFC. You can see here, there's my signature. I'm signing the packaging right here. It's on the inside. So I do sign these. And that's what I'm doing now, because I almost sold out of the CDs. There's just not that many left. I might sell a couple more on my Shopify site, but I'm not bringing them to gigs anymore. That's it. I only got like 4 or 5 left. So that's it.
So if you order the CD, he will sign it, but be warned, with peace and love, that there's only a few. So if you get it, you get it. The NFC, it comes in the case, and he'll sign it. And the picks, there's really no place to sign. You just get the pick.
Yeah, that's right. We're already kind of signed on the back of the pick. So
Lorraine makes a good point, Matt. You deserve to celebrate your career. He's very humble. And that's that. Matt, I want you to come back. We were supposed to do a show about airline etiquette. We were going to discuss people who fight for the armrests and people who take too long to board and kind of this tricks of the trade. So if you'll indulge me, you'll come back.
Yeah,
We'll talk
I'll
about
come
that.
back and we'll talk about the safety measures you have to take with the toilet seat cover around your neck and the vest and all that. Yeah, we'll talk
We
about
are flying experts, and we'll also talk about how when Matt travels, he gets the most elaborate checkpoint. They really go through his things,
that. Yeah.
and we went after the Rudy's barbecue. The guys were comped big jugs of dry rub, and whoever took the dry rub home, Blas Elias, they got like a cavity search. They really wanted to make sure.
I kind of thought that was going to come, so I actually put mine in my luggage that was going to go on the plane. So I thought about that. This is something that they think is over 4 ounces and not know what the hell it was, and they didn't.
Right.
They didn't confiscate anybody's.
All right, comment, subscribe. That's the first thing. Like this video; it helps get it out to more people. Feel free to leave a comment. Try not to say you don't like Martin Luther King in the comments. I'm not sure. I maybe keep it to yourself, and then subscribe to the channel. I'm almost at 20,000. As a YouTuber, an influencer, a jerk who sits around and talks in his living room, it's a big milestone to get there. I'd love to get there soon. So tell your friends. Make sure you go and check out. I'm just going to letting the people some of the nice words people saying. Feel free to go on there and buy some of Matt's cool things. Oh, Dave Balls is here.
We sold a lot.
Oh, good. I'm glad to hear that.
You can see we got these orders here, so we got to fill them.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. We got to get out of here. We love you. Subscribe 20,000 strong. We love you, Matt. Definitely a fun night. I'm glad everyone joined us, and I know it was a different. Matt needs to make some hot sauce to sell. Well, that could be next.
Yeah, that's. I think Steven's already doing that, right?
He did it once and didn't work out or something. I don't know.
It's too hot. He makes his own at the shows.
He does. Yes.
He mixes up the different hot sauces that were for our chips, and somehow he comes up with a.
He says it loosens his voice. He has one chip with salsa before every show. It's on the rider. Anyway, Matt, I'm going to see you very soon. Do you know where we'll be seeing each other?
I think. Are we going? We're not going direct, so I probably see you in Vegas, right? Would I?
Yeah, you probably come to Vegas and then from Vegas to Detroit.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's going to be another fun trip. There'll be a tour diary Friday morning. I hope to have another video. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll be back for more, as they say. A song co-written by Matt Thorne. It's in the interview. You guys want to watch it? Thank you, guys. Have a nice night.